Hi guys, here's an update on what to expect when you buy a custom built PC from Overclockers UK. So it's now the 15th of July 2020 midday, and we ordered this system on the 1st of July 2020. Just sub £1,000 custom built PC for a student, 3600X processor, Samsung Evo 5, blah blah blah. You can check out the specs in my other video, so I won't repeat. So it's now day 15. What's the status of the build, of what you can expect when you order a PC from Overclockers UK? Well, yesterday we received an email, the first email concerning the build, that stated, just a quick email to inform you there appears to be a compatibility issue with your current config, as the cooler is slightly too tall for the case, so the side panel hits it when they try to put it back on. If you could get in touch via webnote or give us a call. Well, what did I do? I contacted them via the webnote system, which is basically an internal emailer. Basically, I just repeated, you go through this process. Have you received the product? No. Is it regarding an order placed? Yeah. Then you fill in a order inquiry form with your details. So that's basically what I did. I put down the details. I basically just copied and pasted the email, because that's all I knew, that they contact me to say the cooler's too big. And so I sent that off. Within an hour I got another email back. Here we go. Thank you for getting in touch. That's correct. We need to either swap the cooler or the case depending on your preference. Would there be any alternative you would like to go for, either case or CPU cooler? So basically I replied, okay, I'll go with the nearest similar case with cooler clearance, just to save time to get it built, rather than, so they didn't give me much of a choice, so I just said you choose the case, best case that's nearest. And that was yesterday. So today I got this is just repeating the message. So today I got a message. No, what did I say? Yeah, today. Yeah. Thanks for your web note. No problem. I'll swap the case over with no extra charge for this one. So they swapped it for this one, which is basically the default case for the build, because I selected a custom case, an Aero Shard, when this is the default. Oh yeah, and the cooler, this is the cooler that was too tall. Heat pipe cooler. Why is it? Is it too tall? Height. Oh, that's the fan. Height 15.7 centimeters. Anyway, it doesn't matter now. I've selected this case, which is actually the default case for the build. £47. I think it's similar pricing to the case I chose, because it's just the standard case. It's different RGB. Right, instead of that, you had a line going down the side. Where if I bring up the specs, you should be able to see which was the is one of these along here. Anyway, I think it's this one or this one. I'm not sure which. Yeah, it's this one. RGB Shard. Sure, that was the one. Alright, so they selected the default case, which is that one. Okay, so what does the build come to now? Let me see if I can get the build value. £972. So they might be giving me some. Let me have a look. Corsair 650. Yeah. So it looks like it's gone up by £12. That's what it appears like, because the case, what they've changed it to cost slightly more, so the price has gone up slightly, but they're using a different cooler. They're not using the cooler I set. So roughly it's roughly the same price, because the configurator doesn't allow for the cooler I selected. Everything else looks the same as far as I can tell. Just the cooler's changed and the power supply's still the same. They're showing it's out of stock, so if they're building it now, they might give me a crapper power supply that's in stock. Look, all the power they've got some problem with sourcing power supplies. They might give me this one, Coolink modular 700 watt, which is a lot cheaper, £50 cheaper than the one I've selected. I selected a good one because I want it to last. 650 watt. This is the one I selected. Costs £50 more, because power supplies do tend to fail, especially the crapper ones. They don't last as long. This one will last for the duration of the life of the PC. If it's probably 5 years at least, so maybe 10 years, 6, 7, 8 years. So this power supply will last that term and be reliable. That's why I selected a more costly power supply. Then the default, in fact I would have gone for this one, 1000 watt, but that was out of supply. 700 watt is the cheapest one here, from what I can see, so I would never ever. I hope they're not going to give me the cheapest power supply they've got. I hope they give me the power supply I actually selected. Corsairs 650 watt. I would have gone with this one, 1000 watt. Why? Because it gives plenty of scope for the power supply to degrade over time, whereas for this 700 watt there's not much scope. Like this could lose 30%, of its performance and still deliver 700 watts. If this loses 30%, it's down to about 450. Whereas Corsair would not degrade by much at all, maybe 5%, 10% at max. That's what I prefer. Here's a tip: if you're building a PC or getting a custom built, put in a good power supply. You can skimp on other stuff like the case and RGB lighting. You don't need RGB lighting, and maybe the secondary hard drive. Primary should be good. The SSD should be like a Samsung Evo, which is why I've selected Samsung Evo in here. A good hard drive, 500GB pending, but that's the secondary, just the cheapest one, 1 terabyte Barracuda. It doesn't matter. What matters is the power supply and a good operating system drive that will last you for years. Graphics card, well, they cost money depending on which graphics card you go for. I just picked an okay graphics card. If they want to do gaming later, it's sufficient, 4GB, 1650. That's okay for a student. If they want to go extreme gaming, then they can buy one themselves later on and upgrade. Something like a 2070 Super. Look, it costs £400 more. Put that in, the price jumps well beyond 1000. So yeah, it's got a cheap, and also the make of the graphics card matters. I went for Asus rather than Palette, which is cheaper. Well, it was cheaper. Yeah, it's cheaper. You might not see much of a difference, but the Asus cards are better made than Palette. I always avoid Palette. So that's the build, and that's the current state on day 15. It's not built yet, not delivered, but they say between 10 and 15 working days, so within the time period. This is just an update of what to expect when ordering a PC from custom built PC from Overclockers. It looks like they started building it yesterday and they built it quick, and they couldn't put the case back on the glass panel because the cooler was too tall. I didn't really want to change the cooler. Why? Because they'd probably prompt me to get a water cooler because they got nothing else in stock. Let's look at the coolers. Look, the air coolers, well, they have got some in stock now. So they have got some. When I last looked, they didn't have. They just had a water cooler, and I don't want this one. That's the cheapest water cooler, and then there's that ridiculously priced one that was in stock. But this one leaks. So for a sub £1,000 PC, you don't want a water cooler because it's going to be too cheap. It's not. It's going to end up leaking. Always get a, air cooler, a good one. Not well. They'll be sufficient. Like this is sufficient. This is the one that wouldn't fit, I think. Thermit black. Direct cooler. Is it the black? Oh, have they changed it? It was this one. It was black. Yeah, it was a black version. Yeah, doesn't fit. So that's my tips for if you're trying to get a custom built PC. Don't go for water cooling. If it's a £1,000 system, don't go for water cooling. It won't be last. Get a good PCU and a good solid state drive for your operating system so that it lasts. Don't scrimp on those elements. CPU cooler, air cooler, good SSD, Samsung Evo, good power supply, Corsair. Yeah, the rest you can be variable, like the case. Case is probably the least important. Given the price range, obviously you're going to spend £200 on a fancy case, and it does make a difference, but between these cases it's not going to make much difference. I would avoid RGB. Anyway, that's this update for what to expect when ordering a PC from Overclockers UK. Do check out the videos when it's delivered so I can do a full test of build quality and performance, and such as heating. Does it overheat? How does it benchmark? And how does it react without changing any of the settings? Like, there's not going to be any overclocking testing because it's for a student. It's only £1,000. It's got basic cooling. We're not going to overclock it. It's for something that the student can last for a good 5 years. So do check out those videos once it's been delivered, and we'll see how long it takes. 10 to 15 working days. How many has it been now? It's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So on working day 11 since ordering it. 11, 12, 13, 12, 13, 14, 15. So it should be delivered by Tuesday the 21st of July at the latest. That's what they said, delivery 10 to 15 working days. So it might come, it could come this week, Friday. More probably will come Monday or Tuesday. And we'll check it out when it arrives.